Welcome to the Norris Group Real Estate Podcast, a show committed to bringing you insights from thought leaders shaping the real estate industry. In each episode, we'll dive into conversations with industry experts and local insiders, all aimed at helping you thrive in an ever-changing real estate market, continuing the legacy that Bruce Norris created, sharing valuable knowledge, and empowering you on your real estate journey. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a newcomer, this is your go-to source for insider tips, market trends, and success strategies. Here's your host, Craig Evans.
Welcome everyone to the Norris Group Real Estate Podcast. We have a great guest this week. As you all know, we announced our 18th annual I Survive Real Estate last week, and to commemorate this year's event, we're going to start doing some shows that have to do a little bit with the I Survive Real Estate. So today our guest is Ann Gray, President and CEO of Make-A-Wish OC&IE, who will be our benefit charity again this year. Ann Gray brings over 25 years in nonprofit leadership to her role, having held prominent positions at organizations such as Vivalon, the Alzheimer's Association, and the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. At Vivalon, Ann successfully led the organization through a critical period of growth. Under her leadership, Vivalon saw a significant financial turnaround and was recognized as the best nonprofit organization by the Marin Independent Journal. In 2020, Ann was named to the OC Register's Most Influential People's List as a testament of her leadership and impact in the community. Ann, who maintains residence in both Irvine and Rancho Mirage, also emphasized the unique advantage of her reach and influence in both Orange County and the Inland Empire will bring to the community that Make-A-Wish serves. Ann holds a bachelor's degree in international relations from the University of San Diego and an MBA from Pepperdine University. She is actively involved in the community, serving as a member of the Junior League of Orange County, is a puppy den volunteer for Guide Dogs of the Desert, a member of the Salton Sea Triathlon Club, and Coachella Valley Pan-Hellenic. Let's welcome Ann Gray. And it is so good to see you again. It's been not quite, a year, but it's been about 9 months since we've seen you. So can you tell the audience? Well, first of all, hi, thank you for joining us.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me. It's good to see you.
Let's get right into we're really excited to be hosting our 18th annual I Survive Real Estate. Can you believe that?
That's a long time. It's exciting.
It's crazy. And, well over, $1 million. I think we're pushing close to $1.2 million now that we've raised over the course of for various, organizations. But still our community has supported us very, very generously. And we're happy to have you guys back with Make-A-Wish OC&IE as our benefit charity for this year's event. But can you remind the audience what it is that Make-A-Wish does and who does it serve?
Thank you. Yes, our Make-A-Wish Orange County and the Inland Empire, we serve children who have critical illnesses, and we provide a life-changing wish. It is such a phenomenal opportunity that gives these kids hope, something to think about other than their treatment and diagnosis, gives their families tremendous hope, and we grant wishes all throughout the world. Actually, Make-A-Wish of the organization overall does, but we are one of the first 7 chapters within Make-A-Wish, and actually the very first wish that ever happened once Make-A-Wish was officially formed was right here in Orange County, and the very first wish was at Disneyland. So our chapter is the hometown chapter for Disneyland, and wish kids from, like I said, all over the world come to our area to experience the magic of a wish. And we handle all of the Disneyland wishes through our chapter. So we're quite busy. We get to impact a lot of children and their families, and we just love what we do.
I redecorated the office for our podcast. Did you see that?
I love it. You have some of our great wishes. It looks like you have a couple different ones back there. So
yes, we have a bunch of them. We don't have the big office anymore, so we don't have them all displayed. But I said, oh man, what an opportunity to get these up and displayed today. So Can you tell us what types of wishes you guys grant?
Yes, we have 5 different types of wishes that we grant. Children can wish to be something. So we've had kids wish to be farmers recently, marine biologists, bakers, all sorts of different things that they wish to be. They could wish to have something. We have a lot of kids who request gaming computers because they might be homebound or bedridden, and it's really something exciting for them to create a sense of community when they might have to be alone a lot, and so they can chat and compete with other gamers. So gaming computers are a big one. They can wish to go. It looks like you have a wish on your wall where a kid wish to go to the beach, or it looks probably Hawaii. That's a very popular wish, but they can wish to go somewhere. We had a child wish to go to New York, to the theater, some just really exciting things. A wish to meet someone is extremely popular. Meet a celebrity, meet an idol, meet a scientist, whatever it might be. And then a really sweet wish is to give. We've had kids who want to give back. A wish kid wanted to provide enclosures for safety in a cat sanctuary. And we had a wish kid who wanted an adaptable swing so that she could be on the swing set, but she didn't want it in her backyard. She wanted it in a public park so other kids with her needs similar to hers could also enjoy an adaptive swing. So just really sweet wishes all the way around. They're really special. We just granted one here in the office on last Tuesday. We do a wish reveal as part of our wish granting process. And the wish reveal was for a child who wanted to take violin lessons. And so we found a violinist who is with our local symphony here, who is really excited to offer this child 40 violin lessons, and the symphony's chipping in tickets for whenever this child's able to go to a performance. And the violinist played When You Wish Upon a Star as the child was being brought in her wheelchair, and it was just beautiful.
Well, that's awesome. Is there any wishes that you guys don't do?
We don't do firearms. We don't do real estate improvements in terms of home additions, things like that.
You're not going to put a pool in my backyard?
We don't do in-ground pools. We will do an above-ground pool.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
That's really good for some children's therapy. So kids will wish for that. Above-ground pools are more within budget.
Yes.
We don't, I don't know if we've ever granted a 6-figure wish ever.
I think never know.
Pools cost about that nowadays, I would guess. But we don't have, so those are the main types of wishes we don't grant. And we don't grant any wish that would put that child's health and safety in jeopardy. So say a child's, very critically ill, but they want to go to Europe and it's not safe to take that long of a flight because if they have an emergency, there's not access to get them something immediately that would save their life. So we have to watch the type of wishes when the child has a severe illness that could be compromised by being away from medical care for a long period of time.
So what makes these kids eligible for a wish?
A child has to have a critical illness that is either malignant, degenerative, or progressive, meaning their condition will decline over time. And we make sure that the people who are referring for the wish can be referred by the parent, by the child themselves, by a social worker, by a family member, someone who knows the child's condition well. But then we medically verify their condition and the severity of the condition through their physician. If we have any questions, we also can go to Make-A-Wish America, to our medical panel there, and ask for their opinion on the diagnosis of the child, if their eligibility is valid, and what types of wishes maybe they would or wouldn't qualify for, depending on the severity of their illness. That's sometimes when we go to a larger panel as well. But we have an amazing medical advisor here in our local chapter that really does almost all of that for us. So we rarely have to take that next step. But we are really conscientious about making sure that every eligible child is able to get their wish. Ultimately, I mean, that comes down to fundraising, which thankfully you're helping us with. But we really are committed to the granting the wish of every eligible child. So it's just more about eligibility and safety when we're looking at who qualifies for a wish. We have some kids who sometimes will just call our office and say, I wish for, a new bike. And it's like, and they're not sick. They just heard, like, they think we grant wishes. So those calls are a little challenging, but very cute. And, I've got to applaud their initiative.
Hey, that's the beauty of children, is that they don't know what they don't know. So they'll just ask, when I was doing sales and insurance, they would say, do you guys have kids? And I'm like, yeah, we have kids. Do they ever ask you for anything? Yes, all the time. It's like, be like your kids. Just ask. You never know what people will say yes to.
That's very true. That's very true.
Now, this isn't just for the kids, though. The families can be involved with the wish, like if it's a trip or things like that, right?
Absolutely. We involve the family 100%. It's really, when a child's diagnosed, especially if they have siblings, it's a lot for the family to go through. And oftentimes they're separated, while the child's, receiving treatment or has to be isolated. Sometimes the parents, one parent's at home taking care of the other kids while the other parent's at the hospital, and that family misses that togetherness and that bonding. And all they seem to think and talk about is, scheduling and treatments and worry. And so having a wish to look forward to gives them something positive to talk about. It also is something where the family can all be together to kind of create new memories, and not that it would erase, what the family has gone through, but just creating those special memories to really bond as a family again is wonderful and part of the wish experience. The farmer wish that we did recently, the child's older sister and younger brother and mom were all there and experienced the wish together, and created some really special memories. So they all really loved it.
That's really cool. Now, something that you just said in your response is something that I've heard over the years being talked about a lot, is the impact of the wish. It's not just this great, I get to go on a trip, but it actually helps in them getting better and their cooperation. Can you talk about the impact of the wish?
Yes, absolutely. Make-A-Wish has done several studies on the impact of a wish, and really 90% of doctors say that having a wish to look forward to helps the children comply with their treatment more, makes them eat better, gives them a more positive outlook. And all of those things contribute to an improved medical outcome for the child. We have a WISH alumni. We love to hear from our WISH alumni and how they're doing years later. And there's a WISH alumni, a young woman who she shares her story in that she was really giving up hope and thought that, her parents talked to Make-A-Wish about coming in the next day because she had given up hope on, feeling better, and was feeling like she was really bringing her family down. And just, in her words, she thought she would be better off if she wasn't there. And Make-A-Wish came in and talked to her about what her true wish would be. And she was an avid tennis player before she got sick, and thought, well, I've always wanted to go to Wimbledon, and, maybe that would be cool for my family. So she almost did it for her family instead of herself. And then she tells the story of how she really thought about it. She's like, no, I want to go to Wimbledon. I want to meet the key players there. And she had a specific player she wanted to meet, and she started having much more positive outlook, doing the things she needed to do. And she was strong enough to have her wish granted, and really says Make-A-Wish saved her life.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like, sometimes people think that, and by the way, I have this ready just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case, I remember last year's interview, both Craig and yourself, we needed a little break. And,
yeah.
And I'm not sure that we won't yet, but I'm going to try. Now, last year when you were on, you had just taken the position, and you were like, I'm new, but let's do it, So I want to ask you about, how was your first year? How has your first year been with the organization?
Yeah, it was 10 months officially, June 19th. So coming up on a year very quickly here. And it's been wonderful. I think we've made a lot of progress. I've certainly learned about the organization. It was definitely a lot coming in. I think I came a little naively thinking, oh, it's Make-A-Wish. I know everything about Make-A-Wish just because so many people are familiar with Make-A-Wish.
I'm going to be like Oprah. You get a wish, you get a wish.
Not that I knew everything. That's not the correct thing to say, but I thought I understood the mission and the impact of the mission. And that's where I feel like I learned so much, because the impact of a wish is so much greater than I think people realize. And hearing the stories and really understanding what goes into a wish. It is extensive, from the qualification process. We have amazing volunteers who learn the child's true wish and bring that back. And then we work on putting it all together. And, we want the kids to get their wish as quickly as possible. We have usually at any given time about 10 rush wishes, which are wishes that we have kids that need their wish granted within like that month, because either they're about to go into some really aggressive treatment that they might not be strong enough afterwards to experience a wish, or they are terminal and we want to grant that wish as quickly as we can. So that's always on our minds is, how do we make sure that these rush wishes are being put through and making that possible for the kids and their families, so they have that one wonderful memory, as they go through kind of terrible times, or a very terrible time. So though learning those things, coming in kind of naively of really the impact and how much goes into it, and how much money it costs, and how many people are involved, and all of the safety and health considerations that we take so very seriously to ensure that it's a good experience for the wish kid is one of the things that I just was kind of naive to coming in, is all that entailed.
That all being said, are you on track to achieve the things that you wanted to achieve in your first year?
Yes, I think we're making great progress. We've had some very generous donors. We still have about a $2 million gap between the money we need to grant wishes and the number of kids waiting for wishes, but we've made significant progress. Our kids waiting for wishes right now in our area is now under 500 children, and it's been over 500 for a really long period of time. So that was a very exciting number to dip below. With that being said, we know there are more kids out there qualified for wishes than we're currently reaching. So we want to raise a lot more money so we can be proactively reaching out to children who are eligible for wishes that, may not know about Make-A-Wish or know that they're eligible for a wish. We probably have about 800 children in our area who are currently qualified for a wish should they, apply and know about us, but there's no way that we could fund all of those with our current revenues. So we're really looking at aligning ourselves to raise a lot more money through a lot of different vehicles. But the events like I Survived Real Estate really fuel our wishes. And the more organizations and companies like yours who do things like this for Make-A-Wish really help us reach more children. So we're extremely grateful because, it's all about the funds as far as our capability to grant wishes. It's not about staffing. It's not about lack of wish kids. It's about the dollars we need to grant those wishes, because the average cost of a wish is $10,000. But with the world opening up again and kids wanting to travel internationally, Japan's a hugely popular wish right now. Extremely expensive.
Thanks, Pokemon.
You can, for every wish we grant, we take the child's parents and their siblings who are under the age of 21 who live at home. So those things add up quickly. And there's some big families, there's, oftentimes it requires more than one hotel room and lots of flights. And so those things all are factored into consideration. And we look at those travel wishes very closely to make sure it's the child's true wish to have that trip.
So how are those goals set? Is it more of, from like national, and they trickle down? Is it monetary, or is it more of like wishes granted? How do you guys measure?
Yeah, well, we set our goals. We have guidelines through Make-A-Wish America of where they'd like to see us in terms of granting wishes and the number of kids waiting and keeping that pipeline manageable. We know some wishes take longer, like celebrity wishes and things like that. So some kids might be waiting, and Super Bowl wishes certainly take longer. But we had 4 kids go to the Super Bowl this past year, which was
Nice.
incredible. Amazing time, and one of those was a rush wish, so we were really happy to have that child be able to go. But we really balance it. Our budgetary goals are set on the number of wishes we'd like to grant to stay under that threshold of what is a reasonable pipeline for wishes. And we're working on our budget for FY26 right now. Our fiscal year ends at the end of August, so we are really looking at how do we balance that to aggressively grant wishes, but also remain financially sound in terms of all the things we have to do on a regular basis to be able to grant wishes. So we have a really small team here. We operate really lean, and we can't get much leaner because it takes people to grant wishes and it takes people to fundraise. But we are just always trying to do that balancing act and really squeeze as much as we can out of every dollar toward our wishes. And we do have one of the lowest average wish costs of any Make-A-Wish chapter in the country. So we're really proud of that. And this year we built our budget this current fiscal year, we built our budget based on 225 wishes. And we're going to be able to grant over 265 wishes at least.
Nice. Congrats.
Just for, kind of how we're stretching those dollars. So our team is really excited about that fact, and we granted 271 wishes last year, so we really want to grant 272 so we can we granted more wishes than last year, but it's all a numbers situation as far as the funding that we have and how many wishes we're able to grant. So
how does your chapter raise the funds, and how is that deployed across the organization?
Yeah, so we raise all of our money raised here stays here. So everything we raise is local for our Wish kids, and we raise it through events like you're doing for us, wonderful third-party events where your organization puts on a great event. I had the privilege of coming last year, and it was so fun, and I had a great time and met some amazing people and learned a lot. It's like, I'm going to take some of this back with me. I need to know. And so I loved attending. And so those third-party events where you do all the work and we come and say thank you, those are great for us. So we appreciate that. We also do our own events, and so we know how much work they are. We do a wonderful gala every year. This year, our gala is October 18th in Newport Beach. We do a women's fashion show in the spring. We do a pickleball tournament that's coming up in August. And we're relaunching our Trailblaze Challenge event, which is an endurance hike that we're going to be doing in Joshua Tree in March. So that is exciting. We're really excited to bring that back and have a new location, kind of an elevated experience for the hikers that are part of that. And then through individuals and major gifts and foundation grants and bequests, it's really where our funds come from. And corporations who do special promotions for us as well, nationally and locally.
What was your favorite wish in your first year?
Oh, gosh. That's so hard. We had a rush wish with a child going to Disneyland that we did the wish reveal here in the office, and just seeing his excitement and the excitement of his siblings and the gratefulness, the gratitude of his parents was super special. So that was wonderful. The violin wish I just spoke about was very special because I thought that was a very unique wish. And the musician and the violinist providing the wish was as thrilled as the wish kid. It was just really great. And we did one of our wonderful partners, Brightview, did a backyard redo for a child who really was homebound, and she, was on oxygen in a feeding tube, and it was just such an ordeal for her family to even take her out into their backyard. As far as it was all gravel and not really conducive to moving her and her equipment out to the backyard. So that backyard redo, and this child was nonverbal as far as, couldn't, really express herself, but just seeing her looking up at the trees and the things hanging from the trees and having the shade, that day was super special too.
Nice. Now, we've talked about this in the past with Gloria and with you last year. John Cena is the most prolific, wish granter there is.
Yeah.
But he recently went bad guy.
He went bad guy?
Yes.
What?
That's what they call in wrestling a heel turn,
Oh,
And so is he still the most requested wish?
absolutely. Absolutely. John Cena has granted over 650 wishes for Make-A-Wish. And on World Wish Day this past April, we actually had 20 Wish kids meet him at WrestleMania, and it was the thrill of their life. And he gets so much joy from it as well. But, whatever a heel turn is, I don't know what that is.
That means you go from being a good guy to on the bad guys.
He's a good guy, and his heart is with Make-A-Wish, and our kids love. He's probably going to hit 1,000 wishes, I would guess.
Wow, that's amazing. So can just people how do people volunteer with you guys?
We love volunteers in all capacities, from helping at our events to becoming wish granters. So for anyone who wants to volunteer with Make-A-Wish anywhere in the country, you can visit wish.org. For us locally, you can visit our website at ocie.wish.org and look for the volunteer drop down, and you'll see how to attend an information session and complete an application. Our wish granters are heavily screened and background checked and credit checked and all the things to ensure the safety of them meeting with our wish families. So that's good to know. And we have just amazing board members and committee volunteers for our events. So we're really, really fortunate, and all those areas are open for people who are interested in learning more at our website, or they can email at getinvolved@ocie.wish.org. So that's the email, getinvolved@ocie.wish.org. Or they can just call our office, and that number is 714-573-9474. So those are all ways to get in touch with us, and we would love to hear from anyone interested in helping us out.
And I know the backlog is there, but what is it? How can somebody nominate somebody to get a wish?
Yes, we want kids who are eligible for Wish to know about us and be part of our organization. And we will work as hard as we can to raise money to grant these wishes as quickly as possible. So we don't want to discourage anyone from applying for a wish. And some we're able to grant very quickly because they're not expensive. And so you just never know what the wish is going to be. So people can, again, go to our website and find the drop down that says Refer a Child, and it gives them the information that they need to complete online, or they can call our office, and children can refer themselves. We have teenagers that hear about us and can refer themselves. Their parents who are a close family member who knows their medical condition well can refer them. Their doctors can refer them, and the hospital social workers often refer kids to us. So those are the main sources of referrals for us.
And just to be clear, it doesn't have to be a low-income situation either, right?
We don't look at income. We grant wishes for any child. A child could have a wish that is beyond their family's reach just because, maybe it's a celebrity, or maybe it's something unique that our team of volunteers can only create a magical experience. We've had wishes for a princess party, and bringing the community together for that, and having a lot of people there. We've had wishes for a child wanting to build a playground in a park, and bringing the community together. We provide experiences that you just can't buy, and so that is part of the magic of Make-A-Wish, is that we're here for everyone.
And did you get a chance to meet Bill Allen last year? He was on our panel.
Yes.
Okay. He told the story about, his son and all the heart surgeries that he had to go through and everything that he'd gone through and with them as a family. And he talked about how special it was because he got to go to, what is it? Is it in Florida? The, what did he call it? What's it called? It's almost like an amusement park just for for Make-A-Wish.
Oh, Give Kids the World. It's where
Yes.
it's where we have our Wish family stay when they go to Walt Disney World.
Yes, so they went there, and he talks about how it was the character who came in and gave his son a hug, and he lit him up, and just everybody started crying, and
Oh,
he just remembers. He's like, there isn't anything I wouldn't do for a Make-A-Wish. What they did for my son and our family, and that's what organizations like yours really truly do for these kids that are just battling to just be here sometimes, and the heartbreak that their families go through.
yeah, it's really true. We want to get our Wish alumni more engaged with Make-A-Wish, whether it's the families and their Wish kid, it's no longer, alive. We'd love to have those families involved because the Wish experience is so meaningful when they speak about it and meaningful to them, and it keeps their child's memory alive to be able to speak about their experience. And then also our incredible Wish alumni who, their Wish got them through a really tough time in their life and gave them strength and resilience for future challenges. One of our Wish alumni is a great kid. I met him, I think, my first weekend at Make-A-Wish. We had a waffle eating contest, World Waffle Day, to raise money for Make-A-Wish. And he spoke to the police and fire departments that were competing against each other to raise these funds for Make-A-Wish at a great local restaurant here. And he told his story about how his Wish, really gave him the strength and resilience and also made him really want to help other people. And so he knew that for his career, he wanted to be a pro bono attorney. And there's a great pro bono law program at one of our universities here at UC Irvine. And that was the only school he applied to. And we actually wrote him a letter of recommendation as far as what a great, upstanding person he is, giving back, sharing his Wish story with people to inspire them to support Make-A-Wish, and how it led him to his desire to have this career path. So you just never know what a Wish is going to make possible. We've had kids who want to, meet a pilot or take flight lessons, and then they become pilots, just very cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, and we're so happy to have you guys back. I'm glad that we are doing this again. So everybody, please join us on September 12th. Let's raise a ton of money. Let's grant a ton of wishes. And thank you for your support. And thank you for always being so amenable and participating with us. I look forward to seeing you in person again. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much. It's going to be a great time. Hope to see everyone there.
For more information on hard money loans, trust deed investing, and upcoming events with the Norris Group, check out thenorrisgroup.com. For more information on passive investing through the DBL Capital Real Estate Investment Fund, please visit dblcapital.com.
The Norris Group originates and services loans in California and Florida under the California DRE license 01219911, Florida Mortgage Lender license 1577, and NMLS license 1623669. For more information on hard money lending, go to thenorrisgroup.com and